Say I ask you to find the square root of 4. If I ask you for the square root of 4, what question are we asking here? Well, when we find the square root, we're looking for what number times itself is that 4? One of the different parts of our square root, that square root symbol itself, is known as the radical. And the 4, the value underneath the square root, is known as the radicand. So we want to figure out what number times itself is that radicand. So let's think of, well, what are our factors of 4? We know 2 times 2 will give us 4, so one of our answers is going to be a positive 2. And we also know that, well, we could take negative 2 times negative 2 and get 4, so our answer is going to be positive and negative 2. So 4 is a very specific type of number. It's known as a perfect square. We get a perfect square when we multiply an integer by itself. So 4 is our perfect square. Square root is positive and negative 2. Next perfect square is going to be 9. Square root is positive and negative 3. Then 16, positive and negative 4. Then 25. Square root is positive and negative 5. Then 36. Square root is positive and negative 6. 49 is next, and that's going to be positive and negative 7. 64, and that's positive and negative 8. 81, and that's positive and negative 9. And let's do one more, 100, and that is positive and negative 10. So if I give you a perfect square, they're pretty easy to find the square root of. We just figure out, well, what integer times itself is that perfect square, is that value. It's a little bit harder when we want to take the exact square root of a number that is not a perfect square. For example, what if we want the exact square root of 8? So 8's not on our list of perfect squares, but we want to find the exact square root. So here's how we're going to do this. We can factor 8 into the product of two numbers, one of which is going to be a perfect square. So we know our factors of 8 are going to be square root of 4 times square root of 2. 2 times 4 gives us 8. Square root of 4, that is a perfect square. So our square root of 4 is positive and negative 2. Our square root of 2, we can't do anything with. It's not a perfect square. We can't factor it any longer. So we're just going to multiply it by our positive and negative 2. So our answer is going to be positive negative 2 times the square root of 2. And that's our exact square root for our square root of 8. So let's do a couple examples where we find the exact square root of numbers that are not perfect squares. Number 1, we've got the square root of 12. So 12 is not a perfect square, but we can factor this into two numbers, one of which is a perfect square. So we know 12 is 4 times 3. So we can factor this into square root of 4 times square root of 3. Square root of 4, that's my perfect square. Square root of 4 is plus or minus 2, positive negative 2. We can't do anything with that square root of 3, so we're just going to keep it times square root of 3. So our answer is positive negative 2 times the square root of 3. Square root of 18 is not a perfect square, but we could factor 18 into square root of 9 times square root of 2. Square root of 9 is our perfect square. Square root of 9 is going to be positive and negative 3. Again, square root of 2, 2 is our prime number. We can't factor it anymore. We can't take the square root of it. So we're just going to multiply it by our positive negative 3. So we'll get positive negative 3 times our square root of 2. And that's our exact answer for number 2 for square root of 18. Number 3, we've got square root of 28. 28 is not a perfect square, but we could factor it into square root of 4 times square root of 7. Square root of 4, that's our perfect square. So that's going to give us plus or minus positive negative 2. 7, we can't factor it any further, so we're just going to multiply positive negative 2 times square root of 7. So that's our answer for number 3. And then number 4, we've got 3 times the square root of 80. 80 is not a perfect square, but I could factor 80 into square root of 16 times square root of 5. And I've got that 3 that I'm multiplying out front, so I'm going to attach the 3 out front. So I've got 3 times square root of 16 times square root of 5. Square root of 16, that's my perfect square. Square root of 16 is positive and negative 4. Because multiplication is commutative, I'm going to pull that out front. I want the positive and negatives to be out front. Times 3 times square root of 15. So I basically just switched the Square root of 16, put it right here, and 3, put it right there. Multiplication is commutative. You could switch them. So now we've got our terms on the outside here, positive and -4 times 3, which we can multiply together. So we're going to get positive and negative 12. And then our square root of 5, we can't factor any further. We can't take the square root of it, so we're just going to keep it as square root of 5. So our answer here is plus or minus 12 times the square root of 5. And that's our answer for number 4. This video was on finding the exact square root. I hope this video helped you understand this concept a little bit more. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This is Nick from First Coast Math Clinic.